The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the show today, we're going to go over what you should know before going to your local farmer's market, as well as bee-friendly gardening. Our guest is author Ben Cohen, and we'll tackle your garden questions. The hour is full, and it starts next.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. So happy you're taking time out of your day to join us. Whether you're listening to us on one of the 18 AM and FM frequencies broadcasting our program here in 2022 through a radio app, through our main parent website, which is the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com under the Season 6 tab. At the top of the page, podcast replay, in-studio video replay, a lot of ways you capture the program. We thank you however you're doing such. I am your host, Joy Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. If you want to partake in the program, besides letting it fill your ears, you can do that in a couple of avenues. One being, you can send us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That again is gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or if you choose, you want to give us a call and talk to us, you can certainly do that by giving us a call on the Proclamation Hotline, brought to you by Proclamation Goods. That number, keep it handy, 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469.
The Proclamation Goods creates cookware for the eco-conscious home chef. Their pans are non-toxic, have a lifetime warranty, and are made in Wisconsin. Their award-winning stainless steel Proclamation Duo cookware set is a 12-inch skillet and a stock pot that doubles as a wok. Best of all, the skillet and stock pot hinge together to form a Dutch oven. It's 2 pans with the versatility of 10, empowering you to cook more with less. If you care about your health and strive for a more sustainable lifestyle, then Proclamation Goods is for you. Supply is limited, so order yours now at proclamationgoods.com.
If you would like to see it in, we did an unboxing on our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com recently, and just put in the search bar Proclamation Goods, and you can see exactly what we're talking about. It's once you go Proclamation, you never will go back. Well, Holly, farmers markets, they have changed over the last 3 years or so, but the basic information which we're going to provide is still relevant and accurate. It's just maybe a little different in the atmosphere of said farmers markets based on where you're at in the country and the government and agency that's overseeing those based on what has happened in the last 2 years.
Right. So most of them, I think, are pretty much back to quote-unquote normal, but I guess we'll find out because, like, where we are in the
Southwest Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. Southeast, yes. The other direction.
Most of them are outside. There is a winter farmers market, and that was something that I think continued throughout the entire, last couple of years. But anyway,
but what do you need to know if you've never gone to a farmer's market, or you've gone and maybe you want to kind of, refresh yourself on this?
Well, I would encourage anybody to go. And I would also encourage you to bring cash. I know some, with a lot of these mobile payment devices, whatnot, farmers could be taking cards, but sometimes they have to pay fees on those. So in order, to hopefully keep costs down all around, I would recommend bringing cash.
Yeah, we'll get into that. First, when you get to it, first of all, how do you find out if there is a farmer's market in your area?
Sure. So you can do a lot of searching. You can just go to your local your favorite search engine, and put in farmer's market and your zip code or your town, and you should be able to find it that way. There's also a website called localharvest.org, and you can find farmers markets there. You can find a lot of farm to table type food as well, but farmers markets, that's a good resource. If you have a local co-op, organic food co-op, or organic food store. Sometimes they have resources.
Just ask
as
around.
well. Yeah, just ask around. Coworkers, neighbors, family, friends. You might just see a poster at a local community center. It's pretty easy, when you're kind of looking to find them. But the one thing when you get there is you definitely want to shop around. You might see, right away when you walk in, 3 peppers for $3 or something. Maybe you look around and see if you can find a better deal or better looking peppers or whatever.
Also, just like anything, if you buy in volume, you can probably get a better deal. If you're looking for 10 or 15 peppers because you're doing a dish or you're canning them and they're 3 for $1, talk to the farmer and go, hey, I'm looking for 15 and here's what it would be if I buy. Can we make a deal?
And sometimes you have to make a deal and then come back next week. Especially maybe if they don't have they didn't bring a lot of produce or they just brought, what they thought that they typically sell. Sometimes you might have to plan ahead. I know a lot of people will do that with tomatoes.
And this stuff's harvested that morning or late the previous night. This stuff's not been harvested for 3 or 4 days and sat in a refrigerator. This stuff most of the time has been harvested very soon before you buy it and bring it home.
Correct. That's absolutely correct. And one thing you want to keep in mind is that sometimes farmers markets get to become sellers markets or community markets, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can find one that's a little bit more simple and smaller, at times, if you're just looking for vegetables and other sort of things that you're going to consume, it's not a bad idea to kind of look around, especially if one fits in your schedule better than the other one.
And even with the economy as it is right now with inflation, all that, you can still take a $20 bill to a farmer's market and get about twice as much as you would if you went to the grocery store.
Yes, you can.
No question about it.
Right. And if a lot of times if you're not sure about something, maybe they're selling something like ground cherries, you've never had ground cherries, they'll let you sample them. And sometimes they encourage you to sample them.
Because they don't want you to buy them after the effort they've put in, and then you take it home and go, I don't like this, and throw it away, even though they don't know that's what you're doing. It's just, let's not waste anything that we don't have to.
Right.
And we talked about bringing cash. There are some that offer the EBT or the low-income funding card.
Like the EBT or the SNAP. Yeah.
Right.
So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll say, like, how much do you want to use towards your EBT or from your EBT towards the market? And then the people who house the market will give you cash to spend at the farmer's market off of your EBT.
Right. But again, cash is the best way to go because like anything in life, if you pay cash, you probably are going to get a little better deal because there's no service fees. Just that's the way the world works. Bring your own carrying item, whether it's a bag or a box or a bucket or whatever, because you would think, well, why would I want to bring my own when I can just, it's another thing I got to carry with the kids and the diaper bag.
Most of the farmers pay for their own bags, their own plastic bags or whatever. And maybe they just hold on to their bags from the store that week, whatever, but they still have to supply those to you somehow. So if you bring your own and they don't have to supply those bags, again, it's helping keep their costs down. Right.
And we talked about the EBT and the SNAP there. Now, people may think, well, farmer's market is just vegetables that I could be growing in my garden right now. So what's the point of going if I've already got tomatoes and peppers? Well, do you have cauliflower and broccoli and cabbage? You can go and get things in which are much more cost effective in order to buy locally than to grow in your backyard. For example, sweet corn at the peak of the summer, it's about 12 to 25 cents based on where you're at in our area per ear. I cannot grow sweet corn for 25 cents an ear. I can go buy a whole bucket full of it for a couple of dollars and be better off growing other items in the garden that make quite a bit more weight or items, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, than growing one stalk of corn that maybe will get an ear and a half on it.
Right. And you're absolutely correct. Another thing is as I had mentioned, you can also find other things, other consumables, other whole food ingredients. I've bought, oats for oatmeal at the farmer's market, flour, meat, bison meat. So There might be things that you want to support a local grower, farmer, food
entrepreneur.
I don't know what you call somebody who raises meat, a farmer.
Yeah.
Rancher, whatever. And you might be able to support them, or even get information like, hey, I don't want to buy this bison meat now, but do you sell it wholesale? Do you sell it at a certain store? Whatever.
Or can I come to the farm and buy a large quantity of it? And the other thing, and you can go either way on this, if you go to a farmer's market and they're selling meat, it's going to be most likely sometimes frozen. Sometimes it's not necessarily fresh based on because of the laws and all this stuff. It's kind of be frozen, doesn't it? Or what's the...
I'm not really sure.
Let's go with it's got to be frozen for this reason. You can go and get that first, put it in the bottom of your bag or your cooler bag, and then put your vegetables on top of it to keep your vegetables cool until you get back home. It's a little ice pack type thing going on there.
Yeah, that's smart too. And again, you can talk to the farmers. You can figure out maybe you want to buy like 15 pounds of whatever meat.
We've done 15 pounds of tomatoes before. We've done, I got a deal on sweet corn a few years back, $8 for 25 years because they had so much that they were getting rid of it. And I forget what the name of it was, but it wasn't labeled sweet corn. I forget what. And I said, just sweet corn. We've just got so much of it, we got to get rid of it. I said, okay, here's my $8. And I got a nice box that came with it too.
So yeah, you don't be afraid. That's what the farmers are there for. They want to encourage you to purchase what they're selling and also feel comfortable about it and keep coming back.
Right. And speaking about having what you want there, Walton's also has what you need at Walton's Incorporated, Walton's Inc. Of all the cooking tools, supplies, spices, meat packing, all that. Walton's has it all and a whole lot more.
Yeah, we know where you care about where your food comes from. At Walton's Inc., you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. Do you want to make snack sticks that people will actually like? Walton's created meatgistics.com. It's an informational site with a community of over 15,000 users to help give their opinion and guidance on meat processing issues and tips. They also have meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers. All of that is at waltonsinc.com. This can help you go from animal to edible. Walton's has everything but the meat. If you use code GROW50, you save 10% off of orders of $50 or more and get free shipping.
And and if you want seasonings or kitchen utensils, they have that too. Again, GROW50 to get 10% off your order of $50 or more and get free shipping. Well, we ask you not to go anywhere because when we come back, we're going to discuss bee-friendly gardening. You're listening to The Garden with Joe and Holly radio
Give
show.
Joe and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
The Water Hoop is a portable water sprinkler system that allows you to target water evenly around the root ball of your tree or bush. Conforms to various shapes for your watering needs. The Water Hoop reduces runoff and saves money. Visit waterhoop.com. Chapin has the tools you need to water, feed, and protect your garden. We make equipment for lawn and garden care, and we are always innovating to help make your next growing season a success. Our newest products are the 5010 Rose Duster, watering tools including hose nozzles, sprinklers, and timers, the Mixes on Exit Backpack Sprayer that mixes concentrate as you spray. You can find all products at www.chapinmfg.com, major online retailers, home improvement stores, and hardware stores near you. A little bit of summer is what the whole year's all about. Barbecues, parties with friends. The fun is endless, unless the sun or thunderstorms have damaged your outdoor furniture. Keep it looking brand new with custom protective covers from coversandall.com. They have fabric choices for days that are 100% waterproof, coated to protect against sun, and can be custom designed for any size or shape, and placing or removing them. Easy peasy. Visit coversandall.com and use code GARDEN25 at checkout to save 25% on your purchase.
A non-selective herbicide that is also USDA certified? You bet. No More Weeds by Naturally Green Products. The same great company that brings you no more bugs, no more weeds. Kills weeds with no harsh chemicals, no glyphosate. No More Weeds is a commercial-grade vinegar base with a proprietary sticking agent. Great around pools, decks, patios, etc. Visit natgreenproducts.com, enter promo code WEEDS, WEEDS, and buy 3 1-gallon size units, get the 4th one free. Are you tired of mixing and matching soil amendments to give your garden what it needs to flourish? Try Climate Guard, the nutritionally complete all-in-one organic fertilizer made with ethically derived NPK, beneficial bacteria, crop-boosting fungi, humic acid, and silica. Climate Guard uses cutting-edge microbiology and ethically derived plant nutrition to produce the same results as conventional fertilizers without the negative environmental impacts. Each Climate Guard pellet is infused with a high-performance blend of living organisms that will continue building a rich ecosystem in your soil long after application. Available in 7.5 and 15-pound bags, Climate Guard is delivered directly to your door and available for order at shopjohnnyAppleseed.com. That's shopjohnnyAppleseed.com.
Spring is around the corner, folks, and Algae Men reminds you that this year, when it's time for spring cleaning, don't forget about the outside of your house. Algae Men is southeastern Wisconsin's go-to for exterior cleaning, including roofs, siding, decks, and concrete. So if you spot ugly black stains or green splotchy stuff on your home, let Algae Men get rid of it for you. We can restore the area back to its original look, not only in a timely manner, but also at an affordable cost. For a free estimate, visit us today at algaemen.com. Algae Men, we clean areas that you don't want to.
Rootmaker starts your plants off right and keeps them going through harvest. From their seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots to their large variety of grow bags, 1 to 60 gallons. Their products will provide you with the harvest that you've never seen before. Visit rootmaker.com and use coupon code RADIO22 to save 15% off your order. That's rootmaker.com. Chapin has the tools you need to water, feed, and protect your garden. We make equipment for lawn and garden care, and we are always innovating to help make your next growing season a success. Our newest products are the 5010 Rose Duster, watering tools including hose nozzles, sprinklers, and timers, the Mixes on Exit Backpack Sprayer that mixes concentrate as you spray. You can find all products at www.chapinmfg.com, major online retailers, home improvement stores, and hardware stores near you. Thanks for listening to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. As you've heard through the program, many companies offering coupon codes to help you save on great products. If you've missed any of those coupon codes, you can go to our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and click on the Money tab at the top of the page, and they're all listed for you. The Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show is brought to you by the following: Pro Plugger, Chip Drop, Bellbuster, Johnny Appleseed, Ivy Organic, Milkweed Balm, Walton's Incorporated, Bloomin' Easy Plants, Jung Seeds. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. Happy you are along with us today. When it comes to watering, Holly, many of us fail at that particular activity, whether it's overwatering or underwatering, and most of the time we swing and we miss, and the plants suffer because of our uneducated awareness, I guess, of what we should have been doing properly. But there is a device that will take the guesswork out of it for all of us.
Right. Tree Diaper is a revolutionary watering system that slowly releases water around the base of any tree or plant as the soil dries. The Tree Diaper is filled with water from rain or when you water, and it slowly releases water over 3 weeks. Every time it rains, Tree Diaper recharges. No pipes, hoses, or electricity needed. Water your plants and trees whether they are by the house, down the road, or in the back 40. Also works under mulch. Whether you're a first-time gardener or advanced, Tree Diaper will improve the way you water your plants. Made in the USA. You can check out all the sizes they have available at treediaper.com. That's treediaper.com.
Well, when it comes to bee-friendly gardening, we may or may not be aware of the impact that our garden have on the local population of pollinators. If you're looking for good pollinating plants, you can go to Finding Nectar. It's just outside of Denver. You can go to 15550 Highway 72 in Arvada and check them out. You can also find them on findingnectar.com. We welcome them to the program. If you're looking for good pollinator plants in Colorado, that's the place to go. Now, what people think, Holly, pollinators are just bees, but that is just a very, very small tip of the iceberg of what pollinators are actually doing or can do in your garden if you have the proper system set up with flowers and vegetables.
Absolutely. So there's many bugs, insects, whatever you want to call them, that pollinate, and that just doesn't include bees. It also includes butterflies, moths, some beetles, and bats.
Yes.
So you can, if you want to even go as far as get something like a bat house, you can do that, and that will help the pollination. What's the word I'm looking for? Help the pollination.
Yeah, pollination.
And I know a lot of people think that, okay, well, I don't want bats around my house, but the bats, they sleep during the day. They come out late at night. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. So you don't have to worry too much about bats. The fruit bats, the pollinator bats, they're not going to try to attack you.
It's not Dracula.
No, we're not having some Halloween times
Grandpa
here.
from the Addams family here,
Right.
trying to suck your blood.
Right. So yeah, you want to plant a wide variety of plants, and you want to plant native plants. So this is something that you can go to your local garden center. You can just do some research online. But native plants are the plants that are vital to the local pollinators because they provide those plants for pollination.
Now, how do one know what native plants are native? Well, you can get a hold of your local university extension office. Most counties have an office that can provide you either written or a website in which will provide, these are the native plants, and here's what we'd recommend you planting, in addition to your peppers, your eggplants, your vegetables. We're talking about grasses or flowers, that type of thing, certain trees that do flower and help the pollination population.
Absolutely. So yeah, you want to find out, that kind of information. Now you want to avoid more of the modern hybrid flowers because a lot of times in this process with the hybridization of flowers, the pollination is not as strong or the need for pollination. So if you can get the natural non-hybrid flowers, that is ideal.
The oldie but the goodie is basically what you're saying.
Right. And then you want to eliminate pesticides. There's so many reasons why you want to eliminate pesticides, but pollinators is definitely one of them.
Now, I will put a disclaimer out there for that. I understand, and I know there's a lot of people in rural areas in farm country that listen to our program, and pesticides is a way of life in big ag industry. We're just talking about the specifics in your own backyard, what you have control over.
Again, we speak to the backyard gardener.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, and if you do want to spray pesticides, you want to do this at nighttime when bees and other pollinators are not active. So be mindful of maybe if you are going to use these things as to when versus what type of thing.
Well, let's just address the round product that you use that has the glyphosate. It does exactly what it's intended to be used for. It kills the plant exactly how it's designed for. And there is a proper way to apply it on your property. Speak about that.
Right. So
temperature-wise.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. So you don't want to apply it if it's above 70 degrees, and especially when there's humidity, because when it's above 70 degrees and it's humid, a lot of that glyphosate just hangs in the air, and then it can drift. It can cause chemical drift. Even just in your backyard, it can drift over to your neighbor's yard, etc. So you want to make sure you're applying it at the proper time of year, which is when it's below 70 degrees.
Right. And I've told the story before on the farm, spraying companies, that they can't wait for that. The corn or the soybeans are planted. They come in and spray as long as the wind is below a certain mile per hour and it's 90 or 100 degrees or whatever, and you smell that for quite some time as it drifts across the landscape. And that's just the way it is.
Right. So another thing you can do is if you want to have colorful butterflies, you need to grow plants for the caterpillars. And this is something where you would do something where you're going to grow plants for caterpillars that you don't care if the leaves look unsightly. So I guess you would want to, if you want to be on the cover of a gardening magazine, maybe you have a separate garden for this. But if you're like us and we like to live in harmony with nature, we don't necessarily care if the caterpillars eat some leaves, and that's going to provide a home for the caterpillars to eventually turn into butterflies, that's fine. Or maybe you can
Well,
grow extra plants.
Dill is a known plant that the caterpillars will crawl on and turn into. Milkweed is another one in which you can grow. There's different types of milkweed based on your geographical area, and that is the only plant that monarchs will lay their larvae on, and the larvae feeds off of the milkweed. So that is a very beneficial plant to have. And in some degree, it will spread by itself. We've had that, some years in the garden, we've had a lot, and some years we've had none. So it's very interesting how that particular plant controls itself. But butterflies, even pollinators being hummingbirds. Hummingbirds pollinate as well, and you can incorporate hummingbird feeders into your landscape as well.
Right. And then this is a new one that I learned about, is that you want to use what's called a salt lick for butterflies and bees. So butterflies
not a cow lick like you do in the pasture. No, okay.
No.
All right.
So what you would do is you would take like a dripping hose or drip irrigation, and then you put, or in your bird bath, and you place this on bare soil to create what's like a damp area, or we did this with like a bee bath where we put the rocks. Was it rocks?
Yes, it was
something?
rocks.
Yeah, and then
smooth rocks,
and then you put like just some water in a small dish or a smaller dish, and then apparently these, I didn't know this part, but these insects like salt. So you would take, typically you want to use like a sea salt because it's a little bit, I guess, better, more or less. But you can use table salt. You don't have to go buy any sort of special salt. You could use wood ash too. Maybe you don't want to leave salty water around. You can use wood ash water. But this gives them a place to come and drink, and they like that saltiness.
And you can use dead limbs to help bring in pollinators to your garden.
Right. So a lot of native bees will find homes in the dead limbs, but you want to keep in mind to be safe. So if you have a dead limb, make sure it's not going to come crashing down on somebody's head. Mm-hmm. But if it is safe, then they will, the bees will go and live in it. And they even sell like little bee condo type things that you can.
Bee houses, I guess is what I call them. I know that's not the industry name.
I mean, I've seen them even at big box stores.
And you can make your own.
Right.
Yeah.
You can drill into some wood and make the little
for the wood bees.
The wood bees. But yeah, that's another thing is that you can do.
So watch what you spray and incorporate, even if just a small area of items, flowers that will increase the population of the pollinators, whether those are bees, wasps, hummingbirds, bats, whatever that might be, because every little bit helps. And just be aware of what you're doing with your little chunk of the environment and your chunk of earth, I guess, and the environment in your backyard or front yard or community garden. And just be aware. That's all we say. Just know what you're doing and know what the impact of what your actions can cause. Even just a little bit can cause a lot of benefit or negativity. You got something else to add there? Or you good? Okay. With that said, now the weather is starting to warm up, Holly, and you will want to protect your garden from those various beetles, weevils, and borers. Yes, that includes those Japanese beetles that we have talked about, and now they are probably here.
And what better way to prevent these from destroying your garden than by controlling them? Well, they are larvae. Grub Gone is an easy-to-apply granular product that can be spread on your turf to successfully control grub invaders. It's developed by Phylum Bioproducts from a naturally occurring bacteria. Grub Gone is a non-chemical BT product that specifically targets only certain scarab pests, and it's safe to use around bees and other beneficial insects.
That's the great thing about Phylum Bioproducts is they have made a product that is safe around the beneficial bees, as we just talked about, but they target the Japanese beetles and the larvae. And if you've already got those Japanese beetles flying around your yard, well, Beetle Gone is an organic water dispersible powder that can be sprayed directly onto your edible plants. Find out more at phyllombioproducts.com. That's PHYLLOM bioproducts.com. And Holly, what is that coupon code in which we can all save a little bit of cash when we purchase from Phylum?
You can use code GardenTalk10 to save 10% off your orders at phyllombioproducts.com.
That's right. Hang out with us. Ben Coney, author, will be with us with his second book. You're listening to the Garden with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Protect your plants from damage with the 3-in-1 Plant Guard and Special Blend Fertilizer. Visit ivorganics.com. Use promo code RADIO10 to save 10% off your order.
90% of the world's flowering plants require pollination to reproduce. Without pollinators, we humans would not survive. Here at Finding Nectar, a Denver suburb-based nursery providing flowering plants that are bee, butterfly, moth, and bat friendly, we are striving to get more pollinators into the backyards of Colorado. Together, we can increase the pollinating population one plant at a time. Affordable plants. Check all the plants out at 1550 Highway 72 in Arvada and at findingnectar.com.
Show your body and monarch butterflies some love with Milkweed Balm, made with milkweed seed oil to promote relaxation and muscle recovery, full of antioxidants and packed with powerful omega fatty acids to fight pain and inflammation. Milkweed Balm is product-based conservation of wild monarch butterfly habitat. Visit milkweedbalm.com to find out more. Dig planting holes from a comfortable standing position. Step, twist, pull, and plant. Visit ProPlugger.com.
Straw bale gardening is all the rage. Get your bale started easily with the Bale Buster Straw Bale Conditioning Formula. This is the only product that has been specifically formulated for use in straw bale gardening. Each unit contains 250 million colony-forming units of trichoderma, fungi, and bacillus bacteria. In addition to the fertilizer itself, produces fantastic results with a bountiful production of vegetable crops. Start with the best to get the best. Traditional or organic formula. Take the guesswork out of conditioning your straw bale. Go to balebuster.com to find out more. Have you ever tried to carry all your tools and supplies on your tractor? You fumble around looking for the right one, unsafely holding them while you drive. Big Tool Rack developed a range of carry-all systems that attaches to your compact tractor in seconds, creating a mobile workstation that allows you to safely carry your tools and supplies. Big Tool Rack's telescoping wheel system and 3-point hitch connections allows you to quickly attach and detach the carry-all system for easy storage. Working around the house, the homestead, or the farm, Big Tool Rack has your back and all your tools. Use code MYRACK5 for 5% off purchases at BigToolRack.com. Find out why we're built to haul it all. Take the guesswork out of composting with hot bin composting. Quickly break down food scraps within 30 to 90 days. Find out more at hotbincomposting.com.
Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use code 10TG22 to receive 10% off your order at jungseed.com. That code again is 10TG22.
With the right tools, plant maintenance is easy and more effective. Ironwood Tool Company has the right tools for your project. From pruners to loppers to saws and shears and cleanup tools, get the right tool for this season, making your job much easier. Find them all at ironwoodtools.com. Thanks for listening to the Garden with Joe and Holly radio show. As you've heard through the program, many companies offering coupon codes to help you save on great products. If you've missed any of those coupon codes, you can go to our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and click on the Money tab at the top of the page, and they're all listed for you. The Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show is brought to you by the following: Rootmaker, Dripworks, Pomona Universal Pectin, Phylum Bioproducts, Tree Diaper, Chapin Manufacturing Incorporated, Deer Defeat, Water Hoop. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. Ben Coney, author, moments away. But first, Holly got a question for you. Hit the button over there.
Sure, what's your question?
Yeah. Well, now that we got that all straight away, whenever you go to the store and you buy something, you realize you didn't get exactly what you paid for it. It irks you a little bit, doesn't it?
I get even more irked when I get food I go out for food or get takeout, and it's not as good as I was hoping it would be.
I ask you because I can't ask myself because that would anyway. Simple Grow. I can ask. Simple Grow. You don't have to worry about that because they sell you 100% worm castings. That's it. That's all it is. There's no filler. It's what you paid for. Worm castings from Simple Grow.
Are you worrying about your plant growth? Provide your plants with what they need to grow to their potential. Simple Grow offers 100% organic worm castings at simplegrow.com. Unlike other worm casting products, which you order from Simple Grow, you are getting 100% worm castings, not filler, plus castings. You're getting exactly what you paid for. It provides ideal soil structure and aeration with Simple Grow all natural and odor-free worm castings. It's just worm castings, no chemical additives or anything like that. It doesn't smell like other fertilizers. You can use it indoor and outdoor. You can buy it by the bag, bundle, ton, or truckload. You can find out more at simplegrow.com. 100% worm castings, simplegrow.com.
Holly, let's go to the Proclamation Hotline, brought to you by Proclamation Goods, and bring in our guest for this week.
Ben Cohen is an author, herbalist, gardener, seed saver, educator, and owner of a small house farm in Michigan. He offers workshops, lectures across the country about the benefits of living closer to the land through seeds, herbs, and locally grown food, and has published numerous works on these topics, including a number of books and his most recent book, The Complete Guide to Seed and Nut Oils. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we thank you for taking time out of your day, not only to educate Holly and myself, which that's why we bring guests on, but also to educate our listeners across the country, and we're looking forward to this conversation we're going to have with you.
Well, I'm really thankful to have this opportunity to chat with you guys.
So let's start with this. Seed saving is an important practice for home gardeners. Why do you save seeds and encourage others to do so? Why can't I just go buy it at the store? Why does that not work for you?
Well, the benefits for saving seeds, there really are so many. I mean, we could talk about just the simple economics of it. The more seeds that I'm able to save right here on my farm, the less seeds I'm going to have to purchase the following season. So I certainly save money by saving my seeds. But by saving seeds, we also do our part to preserve the history of these varieties. Some of the varieties that we grow here at Small House Farm have been handed down from one generation to the next. We're able to trace a tangible history back on these seeds well over 100 years. So that historical preservation is a very important part of seed saving, most certainly. But I would think that maybe the benefit to seed saving that your listeners would enjoy the most is adaptation. When we select and save seeds from the strongest, best performing plants in our gardens, we save those seeds and we grow them again next year. Our gardens are going to give us healthier, better producing plants and far more delicious fruits and vegetables in our gardens. So that's really maybe the number one reason that we want to consider saving our seeds is every time we do so, we get bigger and better garden crops.
And I'm going to ask you this, and you can either agree or disagree. If you're going to save seeds, you want to be somebody that is good at organizing, and you always want to label what you saved because you're never going to remember what that was.
You got it, Joey. I can barely remember 20 minutes from now. So you are absolutely right. Being organized and having some good labeling is essential. It's going to save you a lot of frustrations down the line, for sure.
Yeah, you'll have this cup full of mystery seeds. Well, we know it's this, but we don't know exactly what variety this is.
Oh, for sure. That's bound to happen.
Well, you've written a few books here now. Your latest book, The Complete Guide to Seed and Nut Oils. What is it about? Give us we can kind of gather that, but what encouraged you to write it, and what is something notable our listeners may be interested in?
Well, the Complete Guide to Seed and Nut Oils is just like the title says, it's going to walk you through how to grow, process, or even forage well more than 40 different plants that we talk about in this book, all different oil seeds crops, things that you could grow right in your garden, things that may be growing in the wild, and we can gather these oil seeds and press them into delicious culinary oils right at home. So really it's a how-to book filled with a decade of experience, and that was really my inspiration. We've been pressing seed and nut oils here at Small House Farm for just about a decade now. And this is the book that I wish I would have had when I got started. All the trials and tribulations that we went through, the learning curve, figuring out the process, how to grow the seeds and harvest the seeds, the best way to process and press the seeds, all these different steps. If this book would have existed 10 years ago, it would have saved me a lot of heartache. So my goal was to take all of this information that I've learned over the years and compile it into one place so other folks can see just how easy it is to grow their own oilseed crops. We use culinary oils in our kitchens almost with every meal, whether we're sauteing some veggies or a salad dressing or whatever it might be. It's a staple food as far as I'm concerned. But when we think about growing our own food at home and in our own gardens, we often don't think about oil. But why not? It's so easy to grow and it's really, really easy to press. So I'm trying to demystify the whole process so more gardeners can get out there and enjoy the benefits of fresh cold pressed oils right at home.
When I saw your new book come out, I instantly thought, well, number one, you're teaching people how to press oils of things that you maybe can't find in the store, or if you can, they are a premium price because they're so, exotic, to lack of a better word, and oils in which you can press that they don't exist in the stores at all, and you can bring a different type of taste into your diet.
Absolutely. And we can do it seasonally. We could think about simple things that we could grow like sunflower seeds or even pumpkin seeds. A delicious pumpkin seed oil, like you said, it's a delicacy. It's hard to find at the grocery. And if you do, they're commanding top dollar prices for these things. But it's so easy to create these right at home. All of these delicious, delicate oils. And it's relatively simple to do so. So I'm really hoping that I can break down all the steps in this book to show people every way that they can enjoy these oils right at home, for sure.
Fantastic. So we were talking with Ben Cohen, author, herbalist, gardener, seed saver, educator, and owner of Small House Farm in Michigan. Now, you are an herbalist. What is an herbalist, and why is that significant?
Well, I would say I would define an herbalist maybe as somebody who studies the history and beneficial uses of plants. And we could think about perhaps maybe culinary herbalists that think about ways that we can utilize herbs to heighten the flavors and aromas of our meals. Or we could think about maybe medicinal herbalists, people that harness the powers of these plants for their healing qualities as well, So there's lots of different ways that we can look to plants for their benefits, whether it's simply in the kitchen or perhaps in the apothecary. And it's significant because nature provides for our every need, right? So learning about the plants around us, the plants that we can grow in our gardens, I think that's very, very important. It's just really, it's good for us as people, but to just learn about these plants as gardeners, as your listeners surely are, they love to grow the plants, but by studying herbalism, we can learn yet even more ways that we can utilize these plants in our day-to-day life.
And I was thinking, you said that you wish you had this book 10 years ago so you would know what to have done. Well, you've made the mistakes, so everybody else, they don't have to, and they can do it right the first time, which is a great appreciation from all of us that you've put the time into and messed a lot of stuff up to get it right for us.
I sure did mess a lot of the stuff up to get it right for you. Absolutely. And through the book, I tried to show some tips and tricks that I've learned, like even taking our hand-operated oil press and rigging it up to work on a bicycle, turning it into a bicycle-powered press. Now, it was probably 5 or 6 years that I've been pressing oil before I figured out that shortcut. But folks that read my book, they'll be able to start off right on that route to success.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, people hear the word sustainable living and they have misconceptions about it, like, oh, I got to be off-grid and live through the sun and the solar panels. What does that mean to you, and can people practice it on any level, no matter where they live or their income?
Well, yeah, I absolutely. I think of sustainable living, if I was asked to define it, which I suppose you just asked me to do, from my point of view, I would say that sustainable living is living in harmony with nature, right? Without doing harm to nature, without depleting her resources, using natural inputs as opposed to synthetic inputs in our gardens, But it's something that we can make it elaborate as we want, I suppose, but it is a very, very simple thing that any person can do regardless of the size of their gardens. They could live in an urban center. They could be growing on their balcony. That doesn't matter. It's very small steps that they could take to live a more sustainable life. It could be as simple as choosing to use natural inputs versus synthetics, like I just mentioned. It could be as simple as trying to compost organic materials from your kitchen. There's so many simple and easy things that we can do. And I think that that's the most important part. We don't have to overwhelm ourselves by doing everything. If we just do one small thing, baby steps, if each of us did one small thing, the impact that could have would be absolutely tremendous.
Well, I know when Holly goes to the store, she does what she can by taking her reusable bags instead of using the bags at the store. And if I go and I don't have them, I get paper instead of plastic because paper can break down a whole lot quicker than those plastic bags that's been around since whenever.
Absolutely right.
And that's how, just the little things like that makes a tremendous difference. And Holly, you can jump in here. Some stores will actually give you a little change back if you, does that still exist
Yeah.
Okay.
What's funny is that one of the local grocery stores, instead of give you the 5 cents off per bag, they toss nickels in your bag, and it's really just random but funny. And you're like, why do I have nickels? And then you remember it's because you brought your reusable bags. So.
But yeah, they're paying you to help take care of the environment.
Essentially, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's fantastic. And it's just that simple, those little things like that. Maybe when we're at the grocery store, trying to be more conscious of purchasing produce that's not wrapped in as much plastic.
Exactly.
Or, visiting our local farmers market, or just growing a few extra tomato plants at home. Very simple things like that, like I said, have a very, very large impact.
I also think it's kind of funny because they'll ask, like, if I'm, buy meat, they'll say, do you want this in plastic? And I'm like, I literally have reusable bags. I mean, I get that the cross contamination, blah, 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 whatever. But it's just like, I'm not trying to undo what I'm doing here. But anyway.
Right. It's like, no thanks, but thanks.
Right. So we've really enjoyed having you on the program. Again, how can our listeners find out more about you and your great information and your books and all of that?
The easiest way to stay in touch with me is via our website. It's going to connect you to all of our social media. You'll be able to see our books and all of our different products from our farm. So the one-stop shop for everything that we do is simply smallhousefarm.com.
Well, Ben, we greatly appreciate the time that you've offered us and the tremendous amount of information you've packed into this very short amount of time in which we could have talked 2 hours about. We thank you very much for that.
Joey, Holly, thank you both so much for having me on the show again. I had a great time.
Absolutely. And when we come back, it's your garden questions, our garden answers. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Japanese beetles show up in summer for a feeding frenzy in your garden, and they are the worst party guest, feeding on leaves, then laying eggs in your lawn for next year. Japanese beetles can decimate your plants and trees. Protect your plants with Japanese beetle traps from Rescue. New this year, Rescue has refill lures to use the same trap again the next year. Made in the USA by the makers of the popular Rescue Fly and Yellow Jacket traps. Learn more at rescue.com. That's RESCUE.com. This week's garden tip is sponsored by the amazing Dr. Zymes. Eliminate and prevent garden pests with their 100% all-natural, all-in-one insecticide and fungicide. Experience powerful natural protection from insects, fungus, mold, and mildew. Try a free sample. Visit drzymes.com/garden talk. The goal is to eliminate odors that attract ants, cockroaches, and other pests, leaving your kitchen, bathroom, and other rooms in your house not only pest-free, but not smelling like chemicals or harsh cleaners. The amazing Dr. Zymes multi-purpose cleaner is a non-toxic, chemical-free, 100% environmentally friendly, gluten-free, hypoallergenic, and much more. It breaks down dirt and proteins, leaving a clean, oil-free, odor-free surface. That helpful garden tip was sponsored by the amazing Dr. Zymes. Eliminate and prevent garden pests with their 100% all-natural, all-in-one insecticide and fungicide. Experience powerful natural protection from insects, fungus, mold, and mildew. Try a free sample. Visit drzymes.com/garden talk.
Make watering easy. DripWorks provides quality drip irrigation supplies and equipment to gardeners just like you for all your growing needs across the U.S. and Canada. Purchase online at dripworks.com. Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
We know that you appreciate the value of a beautifully landscaped yard, but tackling such a project yourself can seem way too complicated, right? Bloomin' Easy plants are the answer. Their plants are low maintenance and offer exceptional beauty and color for your yard. Plus, they offer free seasonal care reminders with simple how-to videos tailored to the plants that you choose. With Bloomin' Easy on your side, creating the yard that you've always wanted becomes as easy as plant, water, and relax. Check them out at your local garden center or by visiting bloomineasyplants.com. Brought to you by Blue Ribbon Organics, providing locally made organic compost and soil blends for gardens, farms, landscaping, and more. Visit blueribbonorganics.com or call 262-497-8539 to find their products nearest you. Deer Defeat is an all-natural repellent to keep deer, rabbits, and groundhogs away from your precious plants. Deer Defeat protects your plants day and night, dries clear, and odorless. It will not clog your sprayer. Deer Defeat works for 30 days through rain, snow, and freeze. Safe, effective, and works on rabbits. Money-back guarantee. To purchase, go to deerdefeat.com and use code RADIO to save 10% on your order. Deer Defeat. It can't be beat. Thanks for listening to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. As you've heard through the program, many companies offering coupon codes to help you save on great products. If you've missed any of those coupon codes, you can go to our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and click on the Money tab at the top of the page, and they're all listed for you. The Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show is brought to you by the following: Tree Ripe, Covers and All, Ironwood Tool Company, Timber Pro Coatings, Blue Ribbon Organics, Natural Green Products, Algae Men, Dr. Zyme, Happy Leaf LED, Rescue, Big Tool Rack, Hot Bin Composting, Proclamation Goods. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. Another hour almost up, but we've got time for your questions, our answers. If you've got a question, you can certainly send that over to us via email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Again, that email address is gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or you can give us a call on the Proclamation Hotline, brought to you by Proclamation Goods, and that number is 1-800-927-SHOW, toll free, coast to coast, 1-800-927-7469.
Yeah, Proclamation Goods creates cookware for the eco-conscious home chef. Their pans are non-toxic, have a lifetime warranty, and are made in Wisconsin. Their award-winning stainless steel Proclamation Duo cookware set is a 12-inch skillet and a stock pot that doubles as a wok. Best of all, the skillet and stock pot hinge together to form a Dutch oven. It's 2 pans with the versatility of 10, empowering you to cook more with less. If you care about your health and strive for a more sustainable lifestyle, then Proclamation Goods is for you. Supply is limited, so order yours now at proclamationgoods.com.
Well, we had a number of questions come in this week. We're going to go to the phone, and we had a call from a gentleman. He did not leave his name, but he had a question, and he's listening to us from WHKW, 1220 AM, the word Cleveland, and we'll see what he has to ask.
I found your show on 1220 AM radio, Hudson area, Cleveland, and I take notes, and I share it with my elderly, older friend. The specific question is container gardening. I moved some blue spruce that on a home that was being demolished. It was on the sunny side. They're about 4 foot high. They're actually I put them in big containers. I did trim the roots. The one seemed to have an issue. It's having the pine needles drop. The question was if maybe I should take pictures and find out exactly what's going on with it. The other one is healthy. It's just amazing and so much information I'm learning from your show I found on 1220 AM radio, and I'm sharing with all my friends. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
All right. Well, we appreciate you calling in, leaving a message, and we will address your question here. Pine needle drop on blue spruce, that can be a couple of different things. One, the obvious or the most common situation would be they had a wet year last year and they can drop this year, and or since he transplanted them into containers, he did say he cut the roots. So that can be some stress there. Now, those are the two I go to answers. However, blue spruce are susceptible to diseases, especially the disease that is called, what is that called, Holly?
It's called Rhizophora needle cast. So what it is, it's a type of fungus. And unfortunately, for the most part, if this fungus has gotten a hold of your blue spruce, it's probably not coming back. But you could trim off the branches that are having the worst of the needle drop. And sometimes then that will encourage the other branches to, the healthy branches to grow more efficiently and better. But sometimes it's too far past gone.
Yeah, it will kill the tree. We've got a couple of blue spruce outside of the studio here, and they have met their demise. There's not a application. There's a couple of applications in which can prolong the tree, but nothing to cure it of that. So if you can keep the trees apart, the one that's healthy versus the one that's not, so there's no potential of getting infected with one another, that would be the best answer for that. Well, Henry writes in, and Holly, he wants to know, this year he's going to plant potatoes and wants to know what kind of fertilizer would be best for such a project. So we can give him a couple of answers here. One would be use compost.
Yeah, you can use compost. A lot of potatoes really do enjoy the compost, growing compost or adding compost to your soil, because since they are a root crop, it just feeds them directly and it gives them a nice loose soil to grow and develop in.
And you can use compost in addition to Climate Guard from Johnny Appleseed. You can get that from johnnyappleseed.com or shopjohnnyAppleseed.com, or you can also search for that on Amazon, and you can get it from there as well. It's an all-natural product. It's they are very keen on how they create their fertilizer, so there's no environmental impact to the manufacturing process. So keep that in mind. What do we got here, Holly? I have mushrooms coming up in my seed mix and in my raised bed gardens. Should I be concerned?
No, that happens sometimes. There might be some sort of
I think it's a good thing.
Fungus spores. You're right. It is not a bad thing. I wouldn't eat those mushrooms.
No.
Wouldn't let your kids or your dog or your cat or your pet rabbit or
but it can mean you got some wetness issues.
Right. So yeah, maybe if you are having, particularly wet spring, definitely don't water heavily or anything like that. You want to just kind of let that dry out. Sometimes people just get mushrooms in lower laying areas of their yard. Same thing sometimes happens with raised beds or containers, where when you have that wet spring, the fungus grows and mushrooms happen.
All right. What can I use to kill aphids that won't harm my squash plants? Is there a safe product that can be used?
Yeah, you can certainly. I know, like for us, starting seeds indoors, sometimes you get those aphids, soil gnats, etc. You can use the amazing Dr. Zymes, and they have use the eliminator 3 days in a row, then once weekly. And what it will do is it'll help get rid of those aphids. Yeah,
you can use that outdoors, indoors, as soil drench. You don't necessarily. You can get your free two eliminator concentrated samples, 2 ounces each, free with. Just pay for shipping. You go to Dr. Zymes /Garden Talk. That's Dr. Zymes, ZYMES.com /Garden Talk. If you forget that, just go to our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, and click on the money tab at the top of the page. Scroll down, it's right there. It'll navigate you right to the proper page in order for you to get those items for the 2 samples for free. You just got to pay shipping and handling. And once you get them and use them, you won't go back to anything else. Absolutely amazing product that is safe for everybody in your family. Here's another question, Holly. I read that I should trim the green tops of my onions to promote bulb growth. Is this true? And when should that trimming take place? How short should they be? Is there any truth to this? Or with this for the onions and the leeks? Or is this just a garden myth?
Sure. So it's this. I'm assuming this is for seedlings.
Yes.
Yeah. So you do want to trim them down just a couple inches. It will encourage bulb growth, but it also
This is for onions. Leeks you don't trim.
right leeks you don't trim, exactly. And you would do this for the onions to encourage bulb growth, as you have heard, and you just trim them down a couple inches.
Give them a haircut.
Give them a little haircut, and I don't know, probably about a week before you're ready to plant. Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, don't touch the leeks. Let the leeks be tall, and you're going to plant them deep to submerge some of the roots to get that blanching or that whiteness, even though you can't eat the whole plant, not just the white portion. And then the onions, you want to trim those down to have specific better control of the onions, and they're a little better.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Well, we've really gotten through a lot of questions here.
Pushed through a lot of questions. You got something, you can certainly get a hold of us during the week, during the show, 1-800-927-SHOW, or gardentalkradio@gmail.com. We are always happy to address your questions and get them answered so you can have a better growing season. Well, that means we are out of time, Holly, and we appreciate all of you listening and taking part in the program, whether you're listening, interacting via phone call and or email. And if you missed any portion of the program today, you want to revisit it, you can do that by going to our parent website, which is, again, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and clicking on the Radio 6 tab at the top of the page. You can see the current show and past shows, and then navigate through the website and see the other 5 seasons of the show. Or you can send us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com, gardentalkradio@gmail.com, and we'll send you the link to the program today. And check out past shows again and video content on the website. Tune in next week to the program. We'll be discussing watering. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And herbs, the edible kind, the basils, the oreganos, those types, not the other kind. And our guest will be Megan Cohen. Cohen will be with us, and we'll answer more of your garden questions. So until next week, for
Holly Baird,
I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.